Ruchit Jain, equity technical analyst at Angel Broking, is now with us. Ruchit, what do you make of the breakout today? 92 points higher for the Nifty. A classical breakout, classical risk on trade. Probably, what should be the levels that you would be looking out for at the higher level?
Good afternoon, Pankaj. Probably we have seen that Nifty has bottomed around the 75.40, 75.50 levels. And what we have seen that last 9 months it was in a corrective action from highs of 9110. And the wave count suggests that the end of the third corrective wave over here around 75.40, 75.50. And from there, it is the first impulsive wave which we have seen in last 4 trading sessions. So probably an impulsive wave on the upside, on the higher side, indicates that that the trend is now positive. Even on weekly charts, we are observing formation of a bullish engulfing pattern formation in Nifty. So probably the trend is bullish now. It's just that on lower time frame charts, we are completing the first impulsive wave around this 7850. That's right now where we are trading. There are a couple of resistances coming here around 7850. One is the gap area resistance which was created on 4th of December. Secondly, the last corrective action which was there from 7980 to 7550. Exact 61.8% retracement of that correction is coming around 75.50, and as I said, this first impulsive wave, if seen on the lower time frame charts, is getting end around 78.50. So I think one corrective action would come in the next week. We won't breach that 75.40 low, but about 50% correction of this entire up move would bring this Nifty to 7700 again. So 7700 to 7665 zone could be seen next week, which again would be a buying opportunity.
Right. And Bank Nifty, what is your view over there? Do you think Bank Nifty would tend to do very well going ahead?
Pankaj, so far we have not seen that strength in Bank Nifty what we are seeing in Nifty. Although it has again bounced from its crucial support zone of 16,150 to 200, and I think Bank Nifty would outperform only in the next leg of up move, which would come after one correction. So probably there are 5 legs of up move in an impulsive uptrend. So this is the first leg which we are expecting it to get completed today or maybe in tomorrow's trading session. Then one more corrective action, and when it would be the third leg of the up move which would come, in that move probably Bank Nifty could outperform and going ahead. But right now I think the other stocks in Nifty index apart from Bank Nifty are doing well, and I think one should focus on those stocks itself.
Right. Just a word on the rupee. You think the strength in the rupee is quite strong today since morning, and that tells us that probably it can appreciate much more against the dollar?
Probably, I think it could appreciate more against the dollar. We have seen that it has been since last few days following what globally other Asian currencies have been doing, and also since equities markets are strengthening now, I think if we just observe purely on the charts, then there was a previous highs of around 67 which was made in September, in the month of September this year. Again, around those levels itself, this depreciation has halted, and I think now it could again move up to 65, 80 or 66 levels going ahead.
That's Ruchit, your view on M&M. Very volatile, but if we close at 1251 today, what would be your view?
Well, Pankaj, due to volatility in last few days, probably this stock has generally led to breach of its crucial support zones. Now, if we observe the weekly charts, then the stock had quite a good support around 1194.95, which was 89 EMA on a weekly charts, and that's where today the stock has taken support. But again, on the high side, just because it has came up from the support zone does not mean that the trend would change higher. Now, after the news which came day before yesterday, we saw that yesterday the stock gave a good gap down opening, and according to the gap theories in technical analysis, generally when prices come back to those gap areas, those crucial big gaps, these gaps generally tend to act as resistance. So on the higher side, this about 1250 to 1275 is the gap area which would act as a resistance now going ahead. So maybe this stock would, for next few trading sessions, continue to consolidate in this 1190 to 1275 range. Once it is out of this range, either it gives a breakout on the higher side or breakdown on the low side. I think then only next trended action could be seen in this stock.
Right. What will be your view on Reliance? Very, very strong move now above the 1,000 level.
This stock has been forming this higher top, higher bottom formation recently. And overall, if we observe the weekly charts, then now a falling trend line resistance for the stock is will come up to 1030, 1040. So I think this would continue to move higher in next few days, and this up move which we are seeing since past few days would get halted around 1040 levels.
Right. What would you look at a name like Tata Motor? It's been up and down, but right now closer to the day's highest point. Okay, but 3 rupees away from the day's highest point.
Pankaj, Tata Motors has given a good impulsive up move in last 1.5 months in spite of markets and other large cap stocks not doing well. So now this is just a corrective action of this impulsive up move. Now the major support around 50% of that correction is coming around 355 rupees. So this being just a corrective action of that impulsive up move, I think if it comes around 350, 355, that would become a very attractive level again to go long in this stock. So I would wait for one more decline in this stock, probably maybe up to 350, 55. Then this would be a good stock to buy and add it to your portfolio.
Right. A name like Tata Power, which is at a 52-week low, is doing well today. Any view on that name?
No, it's just that many of the mid-cap stocks which has been, which have corrected very sharply in last few days, they all were in oversold zone. And when markets have moved higher in last 3-4 trading sessions, so it happens that those stocks are in oversold zone or which has very sharp selling positions in it. They generally,
Right, but Tata Power has always been around the 55-60 mark for at least the last 6 months or so.
Yeah, Pankaj, if we see this action from 20th of October, that is since last couple of months, the stock has not given any major up move. In fact, from 72 levels, it has again corrected up to the lower end, that is around 60 zone. So just because it is oversold, it is now moving up. So I won't take any bet just looking at one day's price action. In case if in weekly charts we have seen the stock has consolidated a lot on this at this lower end. So in case if on the weekly charts going ahead, if it forms any positive development, then one can look to add positions to on the long side in Tata Power. But I won't be in a hurry to take any decision to add long at current levels in this. Let some development happens in the stock on weekly or monthly charts. Even though if you miss the lower 5-10% of the rally in such mid cap stocks, I think that should not be a cause of worry.
Right. Tata Steel's sale, again, similar story that they have been very, very oversold, and that's the reason for them to be among the part of top gainers list. So
Pankaj, there's a slightly different view in metal stocks over here. Especially we are bullish on a couple of this JSW Steel and Tata Steel among the metal packs. Now what we have seen in Tata Steel, after a sharp correction in last 9-10 months, the stock now has consolidated in last 4-5 months. All the markets were falling. Now this stock was not falling. This stock was consolidating. Now what happens generally when a consolidation phase is after a uptrend, that results into distribution, and when a consolidation phase comes after a downtrend, that is after the price is corrected significantly, that is known as accumulation. So we believe that this is an accumulation phase which is going on in the Tata Steel. If we purely observe the daily charts and come out with the patterns on technical analysis basis, then in today's session it has given a breakout from a diamond pattern, and probably with higher volumes also, which we are observing in last 4-5 days of up move. So I think these stocks would do well going ahead. A good up move could be seen in this stock. So in the next leg of correction which comes, I don't think the stock would fall much, but whatever stock would fall, in case if it comes back to 240, 236 support level, it would be a good opportunity to accumulate Tata Steel over here. Amongst the metal packs, those who are doing well since last few days, two stocks that are JSW Steel and Tata Steel would continue to do well and outperform the other metal packs. Probably now on next corrective decline, it would be prudent to buy JSW Steel as well as Tata Steel. Right, and some of the other names like Vedanta, Hindalco, any view over there? They are also among the top gainers. Hindalco looks positive from a short-term perspective. In fact, we have also recommended it to our clients from a trading perspective for a target of 86. So rather, I won't prefer Vedanta over here because there is no such bullish formation coming in. When we have some other large cap stocks which could outperform other things such as JSW Steel and Tata Steel, which I just spoke, I think one should avoid Vedanta and look to add positions in large cap names itself.
Right. Any other view on name like Sun Pharma? Again, it hit levels of 700, but now is among one of the top gainers. It's close to 800 odd level. Do you think it can go back to the levels of 1050 where it started to fall? From where it started to fall?
But so far there are no signs that the stock has reversed its position to go back to 1000 levels. In fact, the resistance now is coming around this 800-820 zone is a good resistance area. We had seen that a couple of months back the stock had broken its support zone of 800 levels with a gap down opening. Now again the stock is trading in near that zone. So the support which was breached would now become a resistance. So 800 to 820 is a good resistance zone for the stock. And at this level, in fact, I won't recommend to go long over here. In fact, the entire pharma pack still is not showing any signs of bottoming out or any signs of improvement from current levels. So I would still advise to wait for some positive developments happening on pharma pack. Instead, IT, I would just come on IT. IT is looking better at current levels. We have seen a good consolidation phase in TCS, Infosys, HCL Tech. These, in fact, large cap names since last 4-5 months were just consolidating in a broad range. And now all the stocks are at the lower end of the range. So I think IT could continue to do well. We have already recommended our clients to add HCL Tech and TCS from trading perspective. TCS has already moved higher, but HCL Tech I think still is looking attractive at current levels and it could move higher also. So I won't bet long on pharma at current levels, but definitely IT could be a good sector to go long on.
Ruchit, thank you so much for taking out time for us. A pleasure talking.